I do also remember coming across, like having a conversation with my mom where I told her like I'm leaving Christianity.
Oh wow, how did that go?
Like she was upset. Me and my mom have never had an argument, so it wasn't. But I remember just saying to her like, what I'm seeing here is that you don't have the answers that for the questions I have. And if I'm gonna follow Jesus, peace be upon him, like I want to follow the true message of Jesus. And if you just do a bit, you know, with all due respect, like my family is Christian, but from my perspective, you know, if you just do a bit of research into Christianity, like you start to find things where it's like, I don't feel comfortable about like the whole preservation of the Bible, the whole image of this Jesus being this white man, you know, peace be upon him, and like the Bible is in English. You don't even know who wrote the Bible, you know. And also it didn't, from my perspective, you know, I'm not like a scholar or anything, but I don't see that your religion is even compatible with normal science. So all of that, like I remember telling her like I can't do this. I'm leaving this religion. I'm going to become like, I'm going to believe that God doesn't exist. And that was my religion from then on.
How was your mum upset? Did you get any like she didn't disown you or anything like that? Like,
no, at that point she didn't disown me. She didn't even scold me.
Okay.
I think that she was upset and she probably just felt like she should pray for me, you know?
Yeah.
But I've never really asked her, to be honest. But I was going through like a really difficult time in my life.
Yeah.
And this was just part of that. So I think maybe she also felt like she didn't want to be too pushy.
Yeah.
Like, because sometimes, you know, even with your own children, you may feel like if I just force this on them, that won't do any good. So if I let them go their own way and I pray and I try to advise them, maybe they'll come back. So maybe she felt like that, but I don't really know.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. How long were you an atheist for?
So it must have been from let's say the age of 14 to 19, something like that.
Okay, how's life as an atheist?
Not good.
No?
I did not. My life like went like down a very dark like kind of path in terms of like, I guess like my mental health.
Okay.
Because like the more and more I started to accept this worldview and adopt this like godless worldview, and the more I started to accept that really, like from this perspective, from my new world perspective of science is the only truth, you know, what we can prove is the only truth, and there's no truth outside of a scientific test, you know. So if we can't test it, it's not true. And that's kind of how I felt. But then, because now I feel like basically I'm just an animal. Like, I'm a human, you know, I can make decisions, I'm different from an animal, but I mean, in reality, I am just an animal, right? We just evolved from these creatures, and the truth is we're not really any different from them, you know. And my life lost all meaning and purpose, because your life then becomes, or my life then become like, so if this is the one life that I have to live and there is no purpose, I guess, what is my purpose now? I have to try and find one. Like, I need something to do. Because I remember speaking with my friends and like with my family and being like, you guys are all just living this life and you're not even questioning it. You're not even questioning like, why are we here? You know? And I remember like being like, I feel like I'm the only person who's actually sat here questioning, what is my purpose of existing here? So I'm searching for my purpose, and then I look at this atheist worldview and it's like, well, your purpose is this pursuit of happiness, you know, follow your desires, maximize your pleasure and minimize your pain, you know? And basically you then have to think about, okay, so if pleasure is the thing that makes you happy, what are those things? Like, how do I go about doing that? And then you find like, well, pursuing money will make you rich. That'll make you have a big house, make you have a nice car. You can have beautiful women. You can have parties. You can get drunk. You can take drugs. All these things are like what's pushed on us now. It's just freedom, you know, do whatever you want. Freedom. Follow your desires, you know. And I guess I started like going down that route. But I started, the more and more I started following like I started following these people like a sheep, because I see people going out and partying, and I think, well, they seem happy, they seem like they're having a great time, like maybe I should go do that. So I started going and doing that, and then I would then wake up the next morning and realize, like, that's not for me, you know, that's not made me happy. And this endless pursuit of money, to just go out and get a job or go and become a criminal or whatever and steal or whatever route you go to make money, what's it all for in the end if I just die the next day?
So for me, I was an atheist as well, and you accept there's like no God, and then there's like kind of a process of philosophical thinking that happens, and then you come to the conclusion that nothing really has meaning. The people's like idea of what honor is, or morality, or and so on, like, it's all just made up. It's in your head. You think that, and that's fine if you think that, but I don't have to respect it. So, but I went down a route of then if there's no point to life, let's make some point then, shall we? So
what was the point then?
Yeah, exactly. And I just went and just did things that I thought were fun. I was proper carefree because of that. I just didn't care about anything. Like I was nice to people and stuff, but I didn't care about consequences or anything. So I was quite and I'm quite ADHD, so I was like, you know, the wild one. But I knew that the way we live now in this society, the way we live, it's just something, it doesn't rub. It's not like we're not meant to be living like this. And that was a feeling that I had, and that was my pursuit of how we're meant to live. And it was, my mind was like, well, evolutionary, we're meant to be living maybe in like tribal cultures. That's why, you know, it went down that route. But what, for you, so from this kind of nihilistic atheist, where does Islam come in? How did that work?
Well, I guess like I couldn't get away from the fact that, like, as much as I called it blind faith, like whenever stuff really went bad, or like someone who you care about's in hospital, or anything that's out of your control, I would always return to praying to God.
Oh wow!
Even though I didn't believe in God, you know, even though I was like, I don't believe in God.
You're calling out to something. Yeah,
and with my life having no purpose, like it's something that, you know, if I speak with an atheist, and a lot of time they'll come and try and put you on the back foot about Islam, and I'll just generally say, like, I'm happy to talk about Islam with you, you know, and answer any questions that you've got the best I can with my knowledge, you know, but I'd like to ask you some questions first to kind of like get where you're coming from, so I understand your perspective. And then I don't think atheists really expect to, like, as soon as you start questioning morals and right and wrong and purpose of life and what's going to happen after we die, why are we here? You know, why shouldn't I steal? Why shouldn't I do this? You know, because all of that depends on you actually caring about it. So if you tell me, oh, don't steal because, you know, you're harming somebody else, what if I just say I don't care? I'm harming it's benefiting me. I'm not gonna. I know I'm smart enough not to get caught. How does that work? Because you see in history, people have decided that they don't care, and they've gone around and they've slaughtered millions of people, and they've done whatever they wanted, and no one could stop them. So your morals and that's wrong. You shouldn't do that. I reckon this. They don't care about that.
They have a pre idea that that liberalism as an ideology and a moral system is just naturally correct, where you can do what you want as long as you don't harm anyone else, not realizing that they've been taught that as a kid. And this is a man-made ideology, and you think and they're using that as a moral base when it's just been made up. Like if someone made it up, then it doesn't mean it's true.
When you start to question it, that's when, like, all of a sudden, maybe they've not even questioned that themselves, because I know that I didn't when I was an atheist, and I had the same questions, you know, because I used to have this problem. The thing that made me most uncomfortable was, one, I don't have a purpose in life. I'm not searching for a purpose. I've accepted that that's what it is, you know, but also, like, I really don't like the way, like I grew up in a country where the president was like a dictator, and because of him, a lot of bad stuff happened. Now, let's say hypothetically, like, this guy just dies in his sleep. Like, so he just did whatever he wanted. People died, people were, you know, tortured, whatever. A lot of bad stuff happened because of him. And then he just peacefully dies in his sleep. Like, how am I supposed to feel? How am I supposed to deal with that as an atheist? Like, how am I supposed to feel about that? I can't feel positive in any way no matter how I rationalize it, I can't feel positive. So that would make me more and more depressed, because I used to think, well, you know, I don't want to go and slave for money, because money's going to make me happy from this new, I could do whatever I want then. But then I have to, in a way, like if I don't want to slave in a job, the easiest route is to do stuff that you shouldn't do. But naturally, like, that's not me. So how do I get happy? How do I find happiness? Because I definitely don't want to go and slave away in a job. Because people used to tell me, like my mom, she's like, you need to go to university. And I'm like, why? She's like, so that you can get a good job. And I'm like, why? She's like, so that you can have money. I'm like, why? So you can have a nice house. I'm like, I don't care about a nice house. Oh, so that you can survive, but I don't really care about surviving. Like, this world means nothing to me anyways. There's no point in even being here.
Wow, so it got that deep, did it, for you?
Yeah, like I dropped out of like college, and like I just stopped going. I was like, I don't want to do any of this. I don't see any purpose in it, you know? And just got like more and more and more depressed. And then basically, my parents forced me to like come to do like a university course in Manchester, because I had a family member in Manchester who was doing something there. It was to do with gaming, like programming and stuff like that. Because I was into that. Like I kind of just drowned my sorrows in gaming for a long time.